everybody. This is Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody's having an unbelievable week. Hope you're getting your Thursday off to a great start. This is Thursday, so this is Thankful Thursday. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of living life at the level of your design. Before I do that, before I get started, I just want to let you know that I have a great offer that's expiring tomorrow at noon. I love these things. I love, taking different things that I've created and putting them in different spaces for different people at different times. Uh, One of the things that I've been saying over and over again is over the last year, I have really truly reduced the number of one-on-ones that I do dramatically. And that was for me to be able to scale out the company and make it more viable over the long term. But I still love one-on-ones. It's my love. It's my passion. It's where I'm most effective. But it was just taking too much of my time and it had capped out. But I'm still doing it on a limited basis. And here's one of the opportunities for those who have said you wanted to work with me, always thought about working with me. Here's an opportunity. Starting today over the next 24 hours, ending at noon tomorrow, August 4th, CST time. If you register for the bronze package, which includes coaching, mentoring, uh, life strategy, all of that encompassed in one of the most comprehensive packages there is, bar none. All the names you heard and all that, they will tell you that that package is the most comprehensive, one of the most effective one-on-one intensive encounters there is. The bronze package is a 12-week course. It is $3,500. It is worth far more than that, but it's $3,500. But what I'm going to do for the next 24 plus, because it's a little bit before noon, depending on where you're at, that is. But it's noon Central Standard Time. So we roughly 2 hours. So we're talking roughly 26 hours and about 17 minutes. 17, 18, something like that. Anyway, over that period of time, if you sign up, you will get a free upgrade to the gold package, which is a 26-week, 6-month, half a year package of everything you're getting in the 12-week program, but extended. And I will throw in the 6-month personalized success and growth plan so that we can work that out together as we work together. That's $199 value. I'm throwing that in as well. But this is a free upgrade from the $3,500 package to the $7,950 package. So it's $7,950 for the gold, but you can get it today with a free upgrade by getting the bronze package. Again, this obviously isn't for everybody, but if you're serious about committing, at some point you have to put skin in the game. At some point you have to invest in yourself with a calculated expectation of an ROI. I produce. My clients win. If you go to the, just drew a blank, but the Epic Realm community of high achievers, those are former clients doing some pretty extraordinary things. The clients I have on deck now are doing some extraordinary things. Winning is the result of working a plan, working a pattern, applying yourself, adjusting your mindset. It's not withheld from anyone who wants to apply it. I've worked with people with Asperger's. I've worked with people with Down syndrome. I mean, I've literally worked with some people who all had gifts and were able to find their space and make their imprint on this world. You are no different, but you can't keep operating on old paradigms, old thought processes, old behaviors, old habits, and carrying the baggage of your history. And I help you deal with all that. I help you lay out a plan. I help you walk it. I serve in a number of different elements and components, wear a number of different hats doing this, life strategist, therapist, and everything else. But the goal is to put you in the best position to win, and you deserve to win. So again, over the next 26 hours or so, this offer is there. So you're talking about taking a $3,500 package and upgrading it to a 12-week package to a 6-week package for free. Now we're out of that. Let's talk about the importance of living your life at the level of your design. I am a firm believer in a grand creator, a grand designer. There's too much art in this universe for randomness to be at play. So even when things seem random, the more you explore it, you find out that there's order. Even when we start to look into the realm of quantum physics and we start to look at the makeup of the atom, we find that the deeper we go, that what we thought was simple or unpredictable and chaotic is actually highly organized and unbelievably powerful. The atom bomb wasn't even the surface. It hadn't even scratched the surface of what's possible in understanding just a simple thing called the atom. But the designer who created the atom created us from that. And when you look at it, if you study literature, if you study the Bible, if you study other ancient scriptures, you'll find that it is a common theme that we are made from God. We come from God, made in God's image. And in this design is a grand expectation. You can't think of God in any sense of omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, and then think that a God with that level of intellect, that level of power, that level of presence and awareness would create something ineffective, poor performing. Now, like any design can be corrupted. It can be compromised. It can be misapplied, misused, and it will not serve its purpose. You can turn a shoe into a hammer, but it won't do the job that a hammer will do. And in the same time, you continuously do that, you will damage it and it won't be a good shoe eventually. So then what is it? Then we must learn ourselves. We must know who we are. We must come to a point of understanding of our awareness. One of the biggest problems we have is we don't know who we are. We live in a world, especially now with all of the devices, all of the things that we can look at and get impressions and reflected appraisals. We are constantly engaging reflected appraisals about ourselves through the presentation of imagery that we look at as the standard. We look at the standard of beauty, the standard of intellect, the standard of intelligence, the standard of class, the standard of beauty, and all of these different things, and the standard of professionalism and power, and we're judging ourselves based on the imagery that's being put in front of us, and we are losing sight of the demand of our uniqueness in our design. What happens? See, we weren't meant to be like everyone else, but we live in a world that's driving us towards a somewhat of a unilized presentation of what we're supposed to be. So we're trying to be like everybody else. And when you get a bunch of people trying to be like everyone else, you get a large unit of analysis of average. You get a large grouping, a subset of average. You get people who are not living life at the level of their design. You get people who are not functioning in the true nature of their promise. You get people who are not living in anywhere close to the potential of what God designed them to do. And I posted this earlier today, that there are actually prayers that God says no to. People say, well, God didn't answer my prayer. No, the answer was no. See, there's more than one answer. Answering doesn't mean yes all the time. Sometimes the answer is no. Well, why would God say no? Well, there are just certain things you shouldn't even have to pray about, that you should automatically understand is a part of God's grand design for your life, for the world, for the universe. We can start by saying that God is never going to answer your prayer to deliver you from the very giants he sent you to slay. See, some of the things that you're running from, God sent you to deal with. People need to see you moving in it. People need to see you handling it. That's your purpose. That's your reason for being here. That's why you have what you have inside of you, is that's your giant. You were sent here. You were designed to come here and slay that giant. That's a problem. A bunch of you are praying to God because it's uncomfortable. And God is saying, I understand it's uncomfortable. God is saying, no, I will not take you out, but I will bring you through it. I will not remove the struggle, but I will give you the endurance, the resilience, the power, and the fortitude to get through it. But you're going to have to shoulder up. See, you have a design, and most of us aren't living anywhere close to the level of our design. The responsibility to the designer is to live at the level of the design, to perform the way you were meant to perform, not to acquiesce to the urging to move in the manner of others. You are sent here to exercise the uniqueness in your design and make a unique imprint on the world. Everybody should be leaving an indelible impression on this world called a legacy. And we look at people who do it as someone being special. No, they're simply walking out their destiny. They're simply walking out their destiny. So let me again reiterate this point. God is not going to deliver you from the giants he designed and sent you to slay. That's not going to happen. So what you need to realize is that in this corner of comfort that you're hiding in, you are trying to retreat from the very reason that you were designed to be here. And then if God designs you to do it, the providence is presence. But here's the problem. Most people don't understand the dynamic of faith. And this isn't a religious truth. This is a spiritual truth. This is a God-given truth. It doesn't require the interpretation of man to remain true to its form. Faith operates whether you understand it, whether you believe it, whether you trust it or not. You are operating within a universe that responds to faith. Now, what we have to understand is faith in itself is a neutral concept. It's often and almost always used in the positive sense, but faith has a negative counterpart, and that's when you sit up and believe you can't. Socrates said it, and then Henry Ford doubled down on it when he says, he who believes he can and he who believes he can't are usually both right. So then it's about what you believe you can do. Matter of fact, when in the book of Numbers, when the Hebrews are mulling over whether or not they're going to follow the command of God and go into this promised land called Canaan and take it. See, it was theirs. It was promised to their father by lineage, Abraham. And the promise was some 400 years preceding. But here they are standing on the borders of this promised land, but they send scouts. 12 scouts go in, scout it out, check it out, look and see what's going on. They all come back, and for the most part, they have the same report. It's a land flowing with milk and honey. The food supplies is abundant, and they come back the large bushels of grapes. So they prove that this is definitely something that is true in that sense, but there's a problem. There are some giants over there. Now, just remember, God sent you to slay giants. God sent you to prove yourself. Now, for those of you who don't hold this story to be true, just ride with me for a minute, because I'm going to connect it to anything that you've ever seen, anything you've ever heard, anything you've ever read, because faith remains true. It cannot be thwarted. It is how this universe operates. There's a reason why people who claim to be atheists still study the Bible and have very successful lives. Principles are principles, no matter where you find them. But check this out. So they asked 10 of the spies, says, those giants over there, we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't beat them. Only 2. Caleb and Joshua say, yes, we can, because God said we can. Well, they said they couldn't. The people believed the 10 over the 2. They played the numbers. But here's the beautiful thing about life I want to share with you real briefly before I move on. When you are working with what God gave you, you don't have to worry about the numbers. You win. When you work in your gifting, you win. When you stand and refuse to retreat, you win. When you move forward and you go beyond what you see as impossible, you win. God transcends the numbers. Faith transcends the numbers. Faith transcends facts. Let me try to get you to understand that. But what happens after they say they can't? Remember what Socrates says: he who believes he can and he who believes he can are usually both right. Now, what happened? God calls Moses, let me holler at you. Tell them that I have heard their complaints against me. And now, with me being a student of scripture, I'm trying to figure out this thing, I'm like, okay, where did they complain against God? And you're looking for it. It's not going to be in the context of the written text. It's going to be in the implication of their response. The moment that God said they could and they said they couldn't, they were complaining against God, ultimately calling God a lie. And so God said, tell them that I've heard their complaints against me. And as they have spoken in my hearing, so shall I do to them. Oh, there goes faith. As you have spoken in my hearing, so shall I do to you. He told Job, you shall declare a thing and it shall be established. Wait a minute. Hold on now. Wait a minute. You better watch what you're saying. That's why I teach so heavily with my clients and in my lectures about self-talk. Self-talk is literally the program that your supercomputer brain will run. Watch what you're saying. It says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. You better watch what you are speaking because it has power. You are literally, through your speech, either reprogramming your mind or reinforcing current beliefs. You better know what you're holding. You better know what you're speaking. You better know where you're trying to go, because that's the power of your speech. You say, as they have spoken in my hearing, so shall I do to them. So you can believe something bad and it's still faith. Faith isn't about believing something good is going to happen. Faith is about believing something to the level that it determines how you behave. It's not simply a belief that you hold. It's a belief that you hold at a level that says it's going to determine your behavior. See, their behavior was, we're not going over there. Now, the converse could have been, we're going to take it. Either way, faith was going to be at work. They didn't go and they didn't get. So then there has to be an understanding that in this design, there's providence. But providence doesn't move until you do. See, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of what things not seen. If I can think it through, if I can rationalize it and see how it's going to come out, it doesn't require faith. It only requires action. Faith is required when you look at it and you say, I don't know how this is going to be done, but I know it can. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on it based on believing that it can and trusting that when I move, the doors will open. That's when providence is activated, not until. You're waiting on the answer. You're trying to figure out how it's going to be done. You want the connections. None of that stuff is going to take place until you step outside of your comfort zone and you move into the realm of possibility in the darkness of uncertainty and say, I trust. I trust my design. I trust that when I walk with a resilience and a level of relentlessness that refuses to quit, that something is going to happen in my favor. I don't know exactly when, I don't know exactly how, but I'm going to trust that when I move towards my destiny moves towards me. That I understand that by its very definition, my destiny is impossible to stop for anyone else but me. No, I heard it once defined that destiny simply means that the more you try to stop it, the more you ensure it happens. The only person that can stop you from achieving your God divine given destiny is you, by not pursuing it. But see, what most of us want is ease. Most of us want to sit up and be comfortable and have it happen for us and have it rolled out and laid out for us. We got a sense of entitlement that it belongs to me, so I should just be able to. But he told them, you're going to have to go in and possess it. You're going to have to go in and possess it. So look, I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to get into the things that I need to get into for the remainder of my day. But I want to challenge you, live life at the level of your design. Step out of that zone of mediocrity. Step out of that box of average. Challenge yourself and raise the standards. When you raise the standards, you change the behavior. You reconstruct the thought processes, and you put yourself in a position to do something different. You're never going to change or solve the problems that you are facing using the same thinking that created them. You're going to have to evolve in your thinking, evolve in your behavior, evolve in your mindset. I want to challenge you to do that. And for those of you who did not come in on the beginning of this, check out the offer. Until noon tomorrow, CST time, that's August 4th, I am offering a free upgrade for anyone who wants to sign up for the bronze coaching, counseling, life strategist program. That's a 12-week program. But if you sign up today, you upgrade to the gold package, which is a 26-week program, absolutely free. The information is in the description box. I'm going to challenge you to stand up, step out. Again, I am putting a limit on it. It's going to be 10 people. And if I feel that, that's probably going to be it for the year, if I actually feel it. But that's it. So it's a great opportunity, and to work with me directly. That means every week you and I are going to connect, and I'm going to give you work to do, and we're going to connect every week to follow up on what you're doing, how your work is going. We are going to achieve something extraordinary. On that note, I have to get out of here to meet some other obligations, but I do want to thank you guys for stopping in and spending some time with me. On that note, you guys have an unbelievable day, as I always